Last topic comes from myself. And this was something
Digital.
that I've wanted to talk about for a while, and it wasn't until recently. And it was funny because you showed me a commercial like last week, and you're like, that's it. Well, I just made you watch this commercial. And I was like, that's weird because I saw that commercial for the first time in like 15 years on Hulu. Yeah, I've got the dumb Hulu ads. And
Empire.
yeah, it's the 800-588-2300 Empire Today. I saw that commercial for the first time in 50 years. Not 50, but 15.
Oh, damn, you're old.
15 years. And I got super nostalgic
Water me, bitch.
over a fucking commercial. Just like super, just like, holy shit, I can't believe like this is from my childhood. And I remember hanging out and playing video games and listening to that.
He just had listening to that MP3 player.
Well, no, because I would play like Game Boy or whatever, and I had the TV playing on in the background because I like background noise. That's my thing. It's probably why
that's your thing. That's what you're into.
That's my thing. It's what I'm into.
Hey guys, come to my house.
What's your major background noise?
Background noise. I weirdly enough, not really about the topic is. I found out recently of the hearing of a 40-year-old man. Yep. So like Alyssa and I did this test of like the sort of frequency, like beep. Each one that went up, it was like every 10 years. So it's like this is the hearing of like a 70-year-old man, and like we could both obviously hear, and then 60, and then we could both hear it 50. Okay, we could hear 40. We could both hear 30. I could not hear it. I could not hear the frequency whatsoever. I was like, oh fuck.
I should try that.
Jesus Christ.
I like the idea of it kept going and like they give back the result with Alyssa. You're a hawk.
No,
You're
yeah,
actually
she
a
got
bird.
she got up to like 20, I think, and that was like really impressive. So I think a lot of background noise and a lot of going to shows without earplugs definitely factored into that.
That'd be really funny if they did it with like how shitty you see like music. So it would like play like the generation of that age and then keep going on. And then once it gets to like a certain age, you're just like, what the fuck is this shit? And you're like, that's where you end.
See, I thought, Stan, that you might have just been, growing old in your age. Listen to Bob Dylan. This shit sucks too. Oh God, it's much worse. You're just a narcissistic asshole.
Goes through all of them, gets to Creed. No.
So anyway, I want to talk about nostalgia and things that you guys get nostalgic for. One of the senses in the five main senses that we have, the one that brings more memories is smell, which I think is interesting because there are times when I will walk down a street and like I smell something I can't
pussy.
And I can't describe like what it is, but it takes me back to like, holy shit, this reminds me of being in like my babysitter. This is gonna sound weird for a second. My babysitter's basement.
Can we talk about a sidebar?
I saw a basement coming a fucking mile away. I was like, this is bad.
Well, no, it's because like my babysitter was at the time was my dad's girlfriend's like brother and sister. So it was like their family house, and they would hang out in the basement because that's where like the Nintendo and the PlayStation 1 was and all that stuff.
So like that makes sense, especially for the time.
I know at first it sounded weird, but after I explain it, it's not as weird. But like I would walk down a street, like this happened like a month or two ago. I walked down a street and like something like I smelled something and it brought me back to like playing video games with them.
Buffalo Bill had the night fishing goggles.
Like a basement-y type of smell?
Yeah, it was so fucking
like
weird.
Carpet?
Yeah.
Carpet
like
whips?
90s carpet.
Yeah.
Which is a very distinct smell.
Yeah.
If you know what I'm talking about.
It's like shag carpeting in the 70s.
If you know what I'm talking about, support us on Patreon.
I have a very specific smell as well, and I get it more often because we do it a lot, because we do the show now, and we always go...
The smell of a nut.
Smell a cum. Because I shared a bedroom with my brother.
Ew.
God.
So sometimes he'd come right in my nose.
we had
Pranked ya!
we had bed bunks, and he slept on the top one.
He slept on the top when he was like, "Oh
would
shit,
come
I'm dropping
down.
mayonnaise down there. Sorry."
Whoa.
And you were like, delicious.
Favorite with
Pranked you good.
It's weird. It's weird.
Nuts
Once
in your nose.
it's weird. Once
So
me
about nostalgia.
Pranked you good, brother.
Weird sandwiches don't taste the same anymore. So it's a specific smell. When we go to Century 20, and we usually go to see late movies, and we come outside at night, and it's super windy and cold. And just
Yeah,
the
it's
smell.
it's got that like
I was born
frosty,
in Daly City.
frosty smell.
Yeah, I was born in Daly City, so to me, Daly City has a distinct smell, just as San
Of
Francisco
course.
does, just as Stockton does to me, as I imagine Cleveland has like a certain smell about being outside because of the
So
amount of trees that it has. It has a like Sacramento has a smell
you
because
guys
of how
think
much.
that Cleveland is just trees and shit.
No, I think
No.
Cleveland is nothing but chocolate and a shitty museum.
The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is an awesome museum.
I'm
Go
guessing
fuck yourself.
Cleveland smells like hard candy because of white old people. I don't know.
Cleveland smells like a really dirty lake, and it's because we live right on a really dirty lake.
Like how
I've-
Florida smells like prunes.
Like Sacramento Lake smells fucking bad too.
prunes
Um,
and meth.
Anyway, so just that smell of like being outside after a movie, after we go
But
watch
yeah,
a movie.
that's something else that happens to me. Of like, it's sort of like a doesn't have a smell, but it's just like how cold it is, and like
Yeah,
when like you breathe it
it's
in.
when it's windy.
That reminds me a lot of like waking up early in Cleveland and it's like being outside waiting for the school bus, and it's like I'd get that same sensation.
Yeah, there's another specific one, and especially when it's with the combination of that smell from Century 20, is that plus barbecue reminds me of living in Stockton. It reminds me of having backyard barbecues for somebody's birthday or 4th of July and just being outside at night in Stockton and being a kid again. I'm trying to think of another one. Henry, do you have any? You haven't said one.
My big... it's not so much nostalgia, but with smells, the thing that always gets me is when I'm walking somewhere and I smell like a perfume that immediately makes me think of someone else.
I get that a lot too. Like
The weird ones are when you get that smell in a bathroom.
Sure. I mean,
I was
whatever-
wondering how long we could keep this silent.
whatever situation
but
you
the thing I was
encounter,
gonna
I
say
guess.
When he's
that, like-
pooping, he's like, "Wow, that really smells like,
Like this-
Darty's."
Like, you know what's really nostalgic? The smell of shit.
Back in my days as a farmer, my brother pranked me good.
But yeah, go on.
But like, the weirdest one is when like you get that smell in a bathroom because it's like you smell it, reminds you of something, but you can't remind who or what it reminds you of because it's like I've never had the smell in a vacuum before.
I get that a lot because Tasia is really into the smell of like
Gunpowder
like-
and
sweat. She really likes like rose perfume and stuff, and that reminds me a lot of like my grandma or like I kind of get the bathroom smell as well. Like
I don't.
I rank everyone I know by smell.
I don't know, just
Number
like
one
the,
is Daniel.
the smell of rose just reminds me of like certain people that I
Um,
haven't seen in a while.
moving away from smell because I think we're getting too.
We're getting way too into shit.
So
I always get nostalgic.
One of
over
the-
shit.
one of the weird things about nostalgia because I'm a very nostalgic person.
Dude, you remind me of my childhood, bro. You didn't mean it like that.
Pranked you good.
Is
Got you good.
I get nostalgic for things that like didn't even happen in my time.
Like weirder shit? Is that what you mean? Like
No, like I get nostalgic for like the 70s and the 60s.
And
like,
bro, you weren't
really
alive.
I know, and that's the weird thing of like when I listen to music from that came out of there, I get nostalgic, and it's probably just me like being nostalgic for my childhood because I grew up with a lot of that music being
he
played.
thinks back to the 70s and he just sees his dad going,
Oh my god. Go on.
Anyway,
Uh, Fuck, you lost your point. It's over.
I totally lost
It's
my
fucking
point.
gone. Thank you, Henry.
Yeah, thanks, Henry.
Well,
but
you don't like the image of his dad going.
but like, it's just weird, like how a lot of music really gets me as well. Like how, like in an instant, I'm like, sometimes in tears. And this is actually a main reason, like a personal, totally subjective reason of why I love BioShock Infinite is. At one point, you in that game, spoilers for BioShock Infinite, you
Fucking play the game.
it's been out for like 5 years at this point.
Jesus
Fucking
Christ.
play it.
Turn off our show and go play it. Fuck.
The one thing is like at one point you go through one of Elizabeth's like things and you go into a different version of the of Columbia. But before that, you sort of go down into the really shadier parts where like all of like the workers live and it's like really bad and fucked up, and that's where a lot of like the Vox Populi come out of because they're not being treated right. So you're walking through there, and you really get a sense of like all of the things that Columbia is hidden, and then a song starts playing.
XCOM, give it to you.
But a
I
song
can feel
starts-
you waiting to say that right before.
a song starts playing. You hear it like from a distance. And the first time I played BioShock Infinite, I just heard it from a distance. It's very, very vague. And I started immediately crying and tearing up because of how hard the nostalgia hit for me. And
I get that to a certain extent. Yeah.
you walk closer and closer, and it's this little girl, and someone else is playing a guitar. Or I think the girl is also maybe playing the guitar as well. She's
I'm
singing.
really trying to like take this in as like I know like I relate to it
Yeah.
and like a serious moment, but now he fucked it up with like the X gonna give it to you.
XCOM, give it to you.
That's just
mean,
like fueling the background.
That's the thing about BCG. I try to be sentimental and stuff, and then you guys shout about X and Cox and shit.
I mean, if you're gonna be a little
Hamburg to
bitch.
No, I don't
Nobel
care. I don't
Prize!
care, but that's just what you're gonna get with BCG.
Nobel Prize.
But then
Nobel
and then you walk up and you notice who's singing, and then it's this little girl singing "Shake Sugary" by Elizabeth Cotton. And my dad grew me up embedded blues into like very, very old blues, like Leadbelly and her.
Robert Johnson.
Man's music.
He put that into like the foundation of my brain as a child, and that's why I actually really appreciate my dad, because I think he was, the older I was getting, I think he wanted to like take me on a journey through the history of rock. And so he like started me out with blues, and then we started getting into like other stuff, and then like the Beatles and Bob Dylan, and then Pink Floyd, and
They
all
started
those other
playing
stuff.
Fish, and you were like, nope.
So that was something that like is super, like playing that game, I was like, holy fuck, like I was thrown back into like just riding in the car with my dad and him playing that like track. It wasn't even like a CD. It was like he had to put like a fucking tape into a cassette player that was plugged into the CD player of his car.
Is this too?
You know, I get that way with blues a lot, especially with my dad as well, because my dad sort of did the same thing. Even like just being in the car, like on our way to the show and stuff, and listening to the Velvet Underground and stuff reminds me a lot of being at my dad's place.
That's the
and,
weird
like,
thing is Velvet Underground, it doesn't hit a nostalgic thing for me.
That
That's the
totally
very
hits it.
And
Because you
and
just
that's
hear
the thing
eggs.
and that's the thing with Bob Dylan is that like every single time that hits a nostalgic point for me. So maybe it's just like there's more of an appreciation I have for Dylan. Like I still love Velvet Underground.
No, of
maybe
course, but-
there's like more of a deep rooted love for Dylan in there than for the Velvet Underground. So I don't know.
Right, but stuff like that, like Velvet Underground, just makes me think of my dad's house. I totally get that though.
Yeah.
Kind of like hearing the music and almost getting kind of like an emotional feeling off of it, and just it being so overwhelming because it kind of takes you back so much
Yeah.
to that time period. I totally get that. You were going to say something. Sorry.
I just think there's like a very special quality in music that like only some bands can truly get, of like making music that really feels like it can give you memories that you never had before
Yeah.
just from listening to it.
Yeah.
And like I always think of the Beach Boys when I think of this,
Mhm.
because like the Beach Boys manages to somehow always make you feel like you're on a beach in 1963.
Yeah, there are great bands that really grabbed the essence of what like the era they were in. Which maybe bands still do that now, but we just can't see it because we're living that era. I don't know.
Well, that plus we don't like a lot of the shit that's out right now. So
Yep, 2000s. That was the sound of the Mars Volta.
Mars Volta and the Creed.
I think the band that reminds me the most of living in Daly City as a little kid is Alice in Chains. Weirdly,
because Daly City's
Pick a
heroin.
better band.
Hey, we're not gonna get on this argument about Alice in Chains. But Alice in Chains.
Let's get about this argument about Alice in Chains.
No,
that's your decision.
But that's kind of the band that makes me think of living in Daly City and kind of like waking up for like
Wake me up.
for elementary
Before
school,
go.
and then having my brother be watching like MTV or whatever that's playing that shit, and watching the music video for it or whatever.
Something recently, and this was something we missed for Netflix and Chill when we recorded it last time, and I was so pissed that we missed this. Animaniacs came onto Netflix. It was like a secret thing. No one knew about it.
I saw it that when I texted you that morning, and I woke up really early and I saw it, and I was like, did we forget to talk about this? Did Barrett not mention it? And then I almost was like,
it was not on.
I was
any
kind of
list.
mad. I was just like that you wouldn't like, because I would think like you would be the
fuck
guy
yeah.
to be like Animaniacs,
Fuck yeah.
Animaniacs, like fuck yeah.
I remember watching Animaniacs all the fucking time when I was a kid.
And then
when you texted me that, like I was in like a very like rough place that morning, and I was just like not in a
You
good
were just
mood.
like, thank
And
you.
And yeah,
And that was
and you would text me that, and I was like, thank you, because I need something to love right now.
Yeah.
And so
that's a big
I
one.
put on Animaniacs on Netflix, and I got super nostalgic because I remember like I didn't own like seasons 1 through 4 or whatever.
You just caught episodes as they were on WB.
Well, no, like I owned like a specific. It wasn't like a short movie. It wasn't Wacko's Wish or whatever. That was like the straight to
Right.
VHS or whatever. But there, like I had like a supercut almost like on VHS, and it was a supercut of like the best skits of season 1, basically.
Hmm.
And I would watch that over and over and over again. And so watching the season 1, like for the first time, and like fucking
For
And
Jesus,
seeing the
like
plot
6
develop.
16 or 17 years, it was like there were certain skits I don't remember, but there was ones like the first like when the old lady squirrel brings her nephew to go see Bambi. Like that skit, like that has been embedded in my brain for ever since I saw that for the first time, because I watched that and I was like, even as a kid, I was like, oh well, I know what Bambi's about already, so I never needed to see that movie again.
Right.
No one needs to see that.
Speaking of Warner Brothers, is it just me or like our like childhood generation? Everybody wore like a fucking sweater or something with a Warner Brothers character on it, or like a Winnie the Pooh or something.
No, well, Winnie the Pooh's Disney, very different.
No, I know.
That's
That's
just
why I said
because
a Warner Brothers character
That's
or
just
Winnie
because
the
you're
Pooh.
thinking of Latin moms.
That's probably is because I come
Um,
from a Latin family, and I just
My
that's embedded
dad
in my
probably still has this shirt or maybe a sweater, and it's like a line of all of like the main WB characters.
it's just
and
shit
then
like
it's
that,
got
like,
WB in the back. He's got like a big ass hole in that shirt. Still wears it.
I'm just thinking of Julia's Warner Brothers shirt.
Warn a brother. I hate that fucking thing. I hate it so much. When you see the cops, warn a brother.
haha.
Shut
But yeah,
the fuck up.
I guess it is because I come from a Latin family, and there is a lot of Latin family adults that wore that kind of shit.
Have a
back
Winnie
then.
the Pooh
Well,
sweater.
yeah, like
have
I
one
I
naked
remember
sweater.
growing up in
Small.
like even at like besides my dad's shirt, like he had like a Martin
Nowitzki shirt.
the Martian Martin Martian. Is that him?
Marvin the Martian?
Yeah,
Martian
Marvin the
Manhunter.
Martian. He
Yeah,
had like
Martian
a tie.
Manhunter.
He had a tie of him. I think my grandpa has a Bugs Bunny tie. I think my dad has a Bugs Bunny tie as well.
Fucking Doc Dodgers though.
Duck Dodgers.
And
Fuck
20
yeah.
in the 24th and 1/2 century.
Yeah,
Do
exactly.
you know that theme songs by the Flaming Lips?
Really,
Really? That's fucking weird.
kind of makes
Yeah.
sense.
They also had a song on the SpongeBob SquarePants soundtrack.
That's weird.
That doesn't
That's
surprise
fucking
me.
weird.
So
They're-
Ween had a song out of the fucking
And the
Sponge-
Shins.
Yeah.
And Motorhead.
So, but anyway, the like other like TV shows make me super nostalgic. Watching like you're just saying, like
Watching
buying, like,
old school SpongeBob where the animation is like, no matter like how good your TV is, like watching old SpongeBob episodes always feels like you're watching a video on YouTube where someone's recording the episode.
yeah, it's just it was like it was the quality of the time, and it's just something very endearing to me. And that,
and like everyone's voices is a little bit lower.
yeah, and then like shows like Dexter's Laboratory and Powerpuff Girls, all fucking like super
Simpsons and
nostalgic.
Malcolm in the Middle.
That's the thing that doesn't get me. Or like the first season of Malcolm in the Middle, yes. Because I think that was the only season I actually watched as a kid. And then, you know, I went on to do other dumb kid things. But Simpsons is like that weird timeless thing where I'm like, it's got such a bad taste in my mouth that like I never feel like nostalgic for it. It's weird.
I think that's like the show to get me nostalgic. So for some reason, specifically Reese's character, just because he reminds me a lot
Reese from The Simpsons?
Yeah.
of no,
Because Malcolm in the Middle, yeah.
because he reminds me of my older brother a lot. And
Reese was the epitome of like 90s, early 2000s bullies.
yeah,
And it was like you knew a Reese at your school.
well, yeah, like
No matter where you went.
from like the style that he had, the way he had his hair, just totally fucking reminds me of my brother. At the time,
Did your
And
brother really have like the frost tips? Please tell me he did. That's fucking awesome.
at one point, yeah,
I
My
love
bro-
like all 90s like bullies had frost tips because they were like all hardcore and badass, but the only other people doing frost tips in the 90s were boy bands.
And
Yeah.
Guy Fieri.
Yeah.
Guy Fieri. Did he even exist?
he came
in
out of the
90s?
fucking womb with frost tips.
He just came out of Flavor Town.
Oh my god.
He just came out of the womb.
But yeah, like Reese specifically, it reminds me of it because of my brother. The Simpsons a lot because that was always fucking playing in the house.
Mm.
Ren and Stimpy because of my fucking dad.
There's only one episode of The Simpsons that makes me nostalgic because I watch every episode of it constantly.
Mhm.
Is the episode where Homer accidentally cuts off his thumb,
Mm.
because that episode freaked the shit out of me as a kid.
Right.
But the image that's permanently embedded in my mind is 2 episodes of Pokemon. And it's the one where he gets Charmander.
Mm.
The Squirtle Gang.
Not the Squirtle Gang.
No, I'm saying
actually.
it was that. I was wondering if that was the second one because that's one for me.
The other one's not the Squirtle Gang, but like that whole episode of like where like Charmander is under the leaf trying not to get rained on. I remember that whole episode.
Uh-huh.
Is that the one? Is it Charmander that gets abandoned by his owner?
Yeah,
Yeah,
That
he's
is the
like,
one.
I didn't like him. He was too.
Then he
weak."
like comes back later
Try
on.
not to lean back too much because we have a weird 170
That's
degrees
right.
because you're gonna get super fish-eyed.
Yeah, and then like the owner
No.
comes back and stuff at the end of the episode, and then they have to like fucking battle or whatever.
And the other one that I'm super nostalgic about is the episode where they go to the industrial city with all the Magnemites and Grimers.
Ah.
The episode I get super nostalgic for is the one where Ash gets buried in a cave during like a snowstorm, and he brings out like all of his Pokemon come out of their balls on their own to like help like warm
that's
each other.
right.
Wait, the real goddamn Pokemon nostalgia though? That little short that came with the first movie where they're all in the park
That's right.
and Charizard gets stuck.
Yeah.
That whole thing.
I don't
is
remember
super
that.
Holy
nostalgic
shit.
for
I
me.
don't remember
That-
that.
I haven't even thought about that for a while.
And I think that was the one where it had like the weird transitions of like the Pokemon dancing like this.
yeah.
mirrored.
The last thing I want to say before I turn this nostalgic topic into something a little different
Start
is
singing the Atomic Betty theme song.
the
I have
not the
one more.
Rugrats TV show, but specifically the Rugrats movie makes me super because I remember going to the theater to watch that in
That's a good one.
theaters
the
I
thing,
with like my friend Wade.
that's such an early 2000s.
Wade.
name.
and I remember he was super because I remember us being in the car and he was super confused. He's like, why do we have to leave to go see Rugrats? We could just watch it on our TV. And it's like, no, it's gonna be a movie. It's like in theaters. And that was like a hard concept for him to grasp. I just remember that moment.
I think the ultimate and the last one I'm gonna say is like the most nostalgic fucking thing to me is
Earthworm Jim.
that's a fucking good one though. That's a fucking good one. I hate that I missed that.
Did you know Doug
turning on a PS1 and hearing that noise.
Not the PS1 because I didn't own a
Mine's
PS1, but the PS2. I heard the PS2 starting noise yesterday, and I immediately
Bully?
No, I immediately I teared up and I immediately thought of SpongeBob SquarePants Battle for Bikini Bottom.
I just like the idea of whoomp.
But no, I immediately that wasn't the only game I thought of. Like I thought of like Tony Hawk's American Wasteland and Bully
I
and
always
The
think of
Incredibles
Prince of Persia.
and I weirdly never played Prince of Persia, but
Two Thrones though.
and then like
I'm gonna
Grand
get
Theft
the collection
Auto,
for that
and
soon.
it was just like all of those came up, and it was like just that sound was very hard hitting because I had not
Yeah.
heard that in a very very long time. Something I'm very excited for to have a nostalgic trip with is
I do it.
Alex O'Neill is coming next month for Kind of Funny Live 2. And
I was about to say nostalgic from the last time he was here.
I already
but
miss
like
his body next to me in bed.
I've been looking for this video game I used to play as a kid. And I've been looking for it for 5 fucking years. I finally figured out what it was. And it was Okage Shadow King.
I have that game.
That game
I-
fucking rules.
And it's so fucking weird that I've been looking for this. And I never thought to ask you two. Because I would always be like,
I have it too.
I was like, what's that game where like you get cursed and like you have to have a shadow with you?
Well, see, the problem is that's about 90% of PS2 RPG games.
Yeah, and that was
It's a
like
yeah.
people were like saying like Dark Cloud or I don't know if it was Dark Cloud. I never
Insector.
played it, but people were saying like this other game. There's this one game that people kept saying, and I was like, no, that's not it. That's not it. That's not it. And I like the other night, literally the other like 3 or 4 nights ago,
Genesis?
I just could not like go to sleep. And I started thinking about that again and started itching in my mind again. And I like went on the ultimate fucking search. I had like 10 web pages open trying to like find different like
Pages and
pictures.
pages.
When all you had to do was go on PSN and look
Well,
at
no, that was the
fucking-
thing is like I actually found it on the internet first before I saw it on PSN. Was like
That's
I finally saw the
Weird.
cover art, which was the the weird little boy.
PS2 looking ass kid.
yeah.
Yeah, the PS2 looking ass kid, and then like the butler or like the servant of the devil, who's the shadow, who's your shadow, is coming out behind him, and that's when it hit me, and that I got like this whole mix of emotions of like nostalgia and like happiness. I finally found this game. And all of this stuff, and then I looked it up, like the Wikipedia page for it, and then it said like, oh, it's now on PS4. I was like, holy fuck! And the reason I brought up Alex O'Neill is Alex told me to wait to buy it, so when he comes, him and I are gonna do a Let's Play series of it.
Nice. I'm gonna buy it.
Yeah, I'm excited, but that's like the last thing that like the weird nostalgic thing.
Oh.
But the one thing I want to talk about before we wrap up the show, because we've been going on very long. It's gonna be a very long episode. Camera's still recording, thank God. What do you think we're going to be nostalgic for in 20 years?
Right, you had mentioned this to me not too long ago, and we were kind of putting together a list, but not really.
Yeah, because that was the I was listening to the Comedy Button, and they were talking a little bit
Super
about
funny
this.
guys.
Also a podcast based in San Francisco. You should listen to them. 'Cause
Are
they're
they?
fucking.
I
Oh
didn't
yeah,
know that.
Brian Altano and Max
Oh, no
Scoville
shit.
both work at
Right.
IGN.
Fuck.
Let's go
Go
fight
go
him.
check them out. And send love to Brian. His mom was recently diagnosed with cancer. And so
Just happened to my friend, too.
they're going through
It's not
a
fun.
patch right now. So support him by listening to the Comedy Button and checking out his stuff over at IGN
Fuck
because
cancer.
he's a great guy. And it's sad to see him and his family go through something like that. But anyway,
Not fun.
it was something they were talking about on the Comedy Button recently was like, what's the weird shit people are going to be nostalgic for, like in this time, like Bernie. Oh, remember when Bernie Sanders was a thing?
I was about to say,
Or, like,
there's
They're
like
gonna
two
remember him
different.
like Michael Dukakis.
but like, what's the weird toys and shit that like people are gonna get nostalgic for? And,
Yeah.
like, what's the weird like? Because like we already get like I get nostalgic for like the Spider-Man action figure I used to have.
I get nostalgic for my weird looking metal Spider-Man. I have that.
My Red Skull toy we brought the other day. That's for me.
Something like
That's from-
it'll be
That's from-
interesting to see if like I get nostalgic over certain games, because like right now it's just like I love them so much, so it's weird to even think about like even the thought of being nostalgic for them one day, because that means that I haven't played those games in a very long time,
Yeah.
which also means that those games are probably not available to play on any sort of platform that is in 20 years or whatever. Hopefully that's not the case, but
It's nostalgic for Rocket League.
No, but I'm thinking of like Witcher and
Last of Us.
Last of Us and Undertale. The Undertale in and of itself is very nostalgic already for just old school RPGs.
Right.
So like I can imagine myself getting nostalgic for that. I don't know. Like what do you guys think you guys would be nostalgic for in 20 years?
I think the Scott Snyder Batman run is going to be our
God,
nostalgic
yeah.
thing.
I'm already nostalgic for that.
Yeah, it's it's already felt like it's been so long.
Well, not even that. It's just it's almost over.
Yeah.
There's one more issue I think, and it's either this month or next month. I don't fucking know.
Or like the Miss Marvel Batman series.
Wait, what?
Miss Marvel.
Yeah.
The Miss Marvel Batman series?
No, Miss Marvel comics.
Yeah.
Series.
Oh.
Yeah.
See, you said Miss Marvel Batman series, and I was very.
Yeah, you said Joppa Pons. What do you want?
I was fucking confused. All right. Fuck you.
Just gets fucking real for a second.
Ella brought that up out of talking about some old shit. You've been holding that in for so long.
But you really hate the fact that I accidentally said Joppa Pons.
Fuck.
I take that personally. I love Papa John's.
That's a good one because of like the reaction from that. Like that's apparently such a good fucking series.
You know what's something I
like
hope that we're super nostalgic for soon?
Guns.
Our Star
Donald
Wars.
Trump.
That's gonna be.
Like, oh shit! Remember when we thought he was almost gonna like take over the world?
I hope it's not nostalgic as like, remember when he took over the world? Like,
That was fun.
That was so funny.
I hope it's nostalgic of like, oh, remember when he was a thing for 2 seconds? Yeah.
It's like-
Remember when the white man lived?
Our Star Wars trilogy, the one that's coming up
Yeah,
now.
the
I
one
hope
that's
it gets to
currently-
that point where it can be nostalgic and not like the bringer of death for Star
Yeah,
Wars.
and that's the weird thing is like watching the original trilogy. That isn't nostalgic for me. And that's one of those weird things where like it breaks.
It's been there so consistently
It
in your
breaks
life.
out of its own time period that it's just like it's a timeless thing. So it's
Yeah.
hard to be nostalgic for it because it's always going to be in my life. There's never going to be a point where like I don't go and watch a Star Wars movie for like 10 years
Yeah.
and then I'm like, oh fuck, remember when I used to watch Star Wars? No. So that was the interesting thing of like watching the original trilogy recently and being like, I'm not super nostalgic for this, but I still really, really love it and enjoy it.
Phantom Menace kind of gives me that feeling, but like not enough for me to give a shit.
Me too.
Not like
Yeah.
Phantom Menace itself, but just like the memories
Darth
of
Maul.
watching it.
Like Darth Maul specifically.
Yeah, yeah.
Or
Darth
like
Maul
that
on a
fight
scooter.
scene specifically.
Yeah.
Anakin like stealing the.
Now
shit.
this is pod racing.
Now this is shit posting.
But stuff now that
Like, think about this. People are going to be nostalgic. Like, how we're nostalgic for the original Teen Titans. People are going to be nostalgic for Teen Titans Go Up.
No, they're not. They're going to be nostalgic for Adventure Time, Steven Universe, Gumball,
Adventure
regular
Time.
show. You know, actual good shows.
even Clarence.
I love Clarence.
That's a good show, man.
like it just hits per. Clarence is going to be nostalgic because it's going to remind me of, hey, remember when like you could just live in a small town where it's like you had a tire swing and now we're permanently injected into the mainframe at all times, living our lives through the internet connection.
Minions is gonna be a super nostalgic thing. As much as I hate to say it,
yeah.
it's a big thing.
Because, that's a huge phenomenon.
It's gonna be like when people are like, man, the Transformers cartoon was awesome, and then you go back and it's still fucking rad.
No, it's gonna be like people now bringing back up Domo. That reminds me of going to Lincoln.
Oh my God, Domo. Holy
Yeah.
Domo.
shit. Target constantly trying to make Domo a thing.
Yeah, now they're still trying to make Minions a
Oh
thing
my
and
God.
Star Wars a thing. What's
Stop trying to
a?
make Minions happen.
Target's died down a little bit on the Star Wars.
I hope it doesn't have that nostalgic effect for how people see the 80s now, where it makes every horrible pop culture like music thing like acceptable.
Mm.
So like now everybody's
I
just
love-
like, you remember Boy George, and then you're just like, that was
But
shit.
you know what?
That
You
was
don't
shit
like
music.
Culture Club?
But you know what? Remember Terminator? Remember Terminator 2?
Yeah.
The coolest movies.
No,
of
but
all
I'm saying it's
time.
gonna have that
Or
effect where it
Terminator
has
2 was early 90s.
where it
wasn't
has shitty shit from our
It's
generation.
so early '90s. It's soundtrack by Guns N' Roses. Use Your Illusion.
But it's gonna have that effect where it makes shitty stuff from now seem like, oh,
Cool.
remember it? Like, oh, that was like
No, the
that
worst
wasn't
part-
that bad. Yeah.
The worst
It's gonna
part
be,
is
it's
in
gonna
20
be
years.
Transformers. It's gonna be TMNT.
One Direction's gonna be New Kids on the Block.
Fuck
Yeah.
no.
I didn't
And
say
then they
NSYNC
get
because
to-
NSYNC is good music, man.
Like, and then like One Direction does what New Kids on the Block did and get together with the Wanted later.
Exactly.
But like there was something.
NSYNC was
going-
fucking awesome.
There was something I was going to say. Like
They were good.
Yeah, that's something else that
They
makes
perfected
me
it.
nostalgic.
Go back.
They
a little-
perfected whatever the
back
fuck
a
they
little
were
bit.
doing.
What did you say after fuck?
After he said fuck, he did the bye thing, and then you were here now.
No, but there. Oh yeah, no. The worst part is going to be in 20 years when your girlfriend goes, "Remember when Guns N' Roses got back together for Coachella? Oh my god, that was so amazing!" And you're going to be like, "Shut up."
But it's gonna be weird. Like
You're raising the kids wrong.
I don't know. It's just it's weird experiencing all of these, especially like video games right now, because video games are finally like breaking into the mainstream alongside of like movies and TV. So it's gonna be weird to see like what games like withstand that test of time and like people are still nostalgic for.
I have a lot of faith
Mighty
for,
number 9.
I have a lot of faith for No Man's Sky being one of those
In
games.
20 years, we're finally gonna get Mighty Number 9. All
It
right?
got delayed again.
Jesus Christ.
It's the Duke Nukem Forever of Kickstarter.
The day that David Bowie died, I think is going to be a big one. It's going to be one that will come up a lot.
You made me sad.
I don't remember that. I don't remember that.
I
day
remember that
already.
whole fucking.
We
night.
were talking when it happened.
Yeah, I
Um,
was like,
But the thing I will be
crying.
nostalgic for, and the thing I will always remember,
Is
is
my first
Robin
nut.
Williams dying,
oh, yeah,
and
no,
us
that's
getting
even
drunk
now.
as us getting drunk as fuck,
Yeah,
and then watching Jumanji, and then playing The Last of Us. You playing The Last of Us DLC, super drunk, where she has to play the arcade game, and all of these flashing lights are going on, and you were just freaking the fuck out.
I don't even remember.
was a good
But
day.
I think those are going to be big ones.
You're-
Trying to think of another
You're
one.
going to be nostalgic for stories so far in 20 years.
I probably will. There are gonna be a lot of bands that I'm gonna be nostalgic for and be like, remember the story so far, and my grandkids
And
are
you're
gonna
gonna be like,
shut up,
"Shut up,
grandpa. Shut up, grandpa. Pop punk sucks.
I don't need you or this town. Vinny comes in, yeah.
Vinny comes in, says a very different word from that.
Yay. Yep.
Naggers. Naggers.
Oh,
They
Vinny.
nag you, right?
Oh.
Yeah, we're going there.
Fuck.
But yeah, the bands I'd probably get super nostalgic for will be like Blink-182, Story So Far,
Wonder Years.
Wonder Years definitely.
I'm gonna get weirdly.
Real friends.
I'm gonna weirdly
No.
get nostalgic about Wire because I just got into them. So
The
that's-
Wire, the TV show.
No, it's a
Wired, the
Wire.
influential post-punk art punk band.
Wired, the play we went to go see a couple years ago, where they put chips in people's heads and then they know everything.
Wired, the magazine.
Dude, that's a great play. You would fucking love that play. No, this was something I wanted to say to Trevor Starkey in my interview with him, but I forgot to. Is Wired is an amazing play. I'll talk
that
to you
sounds
guys
crazy.
more. I'll talk to you guys more about that.
Just the
after
thing I
show.
wanted to say to him. Bust a nut.
All right. Any last minute thoughts on nostalgia?
Adventures of Flapjack. Done.
Okay. All right.
Huh?
My
Uh,
worst case of nostalgia is that for the past
Is-
for the past 10 years I've had the theme song for Atomic Betty stuck in my head.
Mm,
Who the
mm.
fuck remembers Atomic Betty?
That show sucked.
The
Yeah.
one thing the last thought I will have on nostalgia is
It's nostalgic
I'm gonna
for Johnny Test.
I'm going to Johnny Test.
That theme song is a treasure.
Wait, I just remembered
Nicolas
something
Cage
else
wants
that's
to steal it.
nostalgic for me. Do you remember that? I think it was like that young kid show with Stanley, and his talking
With
Stan
Stan
Lee?
Lee.
Excelsior. But like the little kid named Stanley and like his talking fish, and they'd go on adventures together. It was like on Discovery Kids or something.
No.
Henry was tripping balls.
Yeah. Power
the
Power
one
Rangers Ninja Storm is the last one I'm gonna say.
the last thing I'll say about nostalgia is
Transformers Armada.
I'm just gonna shittily try to sing a line from a song that I heard for the first time in like 15 years, and it made me super nostalgic for Tony Hawk's Underground. Armageddon, let the light in.
oh God.
By fucking Alkaline
Yeah.
Trio. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's not Superman.
That's excuse me. Wow. Yeah.
Yeah,
No, that's a
Alkaline
weird one.
Trio. And that's like the weird thing is because Matt Skiba is going to be more relevant in my life because he's in
He's
Blink
in Blink
182 now. But I have not listened to Alkaline Trio in fucking like 10 years.
Because they suck.
No, because they're fucking awesome. Go fuck yourself. I've got an empty glass. I'm not afraid to use it.
I'm here to fight for Weezer.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Wrestling with Jimmy.
Wrestling with Jimmy.
that song was playing in Vans the other day, and I wanted to jump off of a building.
Wrestling with Jimmy.
Ladies and gentlemen, this,
Wrestling.
Oh my god. We're so close to being done.
this has been Talking Shit. Remember, if you didn't know, Talking Shit is a weekly podcast where the three of us bring in random topics of discussion, and we talk some shit about those topics. Again, if you think that's cool, head on over to patreon.com/BZG, where you can throw us $1 every month and get every full episode early and an exclusive episode every month. But if you don't like good deals or simply can't afford them, that's okay. You can still find Talking Shit over next week, the following week, on youtube.com/BetaZonaGamers, topic by topic, Monday through Thursday, before the entire MP3 is available for everybody on our SoundCloud page. Will we ever be on iTunes? No. Guys, thank you so much for joining me today. This was a very long episode, but it was a good one. I really liked this one.
Wrestling with Jimmy.
And thank you guys so much for joining us. And until next time, have a great day and keep talking shit. Thank you.